So good afternoon. We are starting this SAFAR project podcast from Lithuania team, and today we got our guest, advisor of Firefighters Training School, Edgaras Geda. So Edgaras, could you briefly introduce yourself to our podcast listeners? Who you are and what do you do?
Hi everyone, my name is already been mentioned, Edgaras Geda. I have a sort of extensive experience in different fields of emergency management field. Actually, I started as a firefighter in back to 1997, and since then I was working in different positions throughout all my career, which is now counted more than 30 years. So yeah, I've been working in different divisions, but mainly it was about fire prevention, emergency preparedness, and even at the international level I was also engaged in international forums such as like NATO. I was working with NATO teams, and also I also have some experience working with the European Union Civil Protection Mechanism as well. So in a way, in short sentence, I would say that I'm emergency manager. So yeah, maybe that two words will describe all of it.
About that, Edgaras. So as today we are talking about virtual reality, new technologies, innovative technologies that could be used in a way of improvement of firefighters training or in a way of improving the public safety. So I want to ask Edgaras, based on your experience, how would you assess whether innovative technologies related to firefighter training, are they being integrated within the European Union?
I guess it's only the start, and these innovative technologies, basically all the new things that all these new technology brings, all the advantages in this and disadvantages, mostly are being tested and experienced at first by our youngest generation. So if that's being used by our youngest people, so that it would be some kind of indicator of how we would live in some years after that. But basically, if we are talking about this technology, I'm not so engaged with that technology because this is not my daily use. Daily use, I have my smartphone, and this is my virtual reality in a way, like, you know, toolkit, whatever. But I see a lot of value in using this special VR tool for training purposes, and we are, as we tried it some time ago and even today, I'm really amazed how it brings a lot of experience, how you can feel immersed in sort of reality, because in first glance it is, you don't feel some kind of difference between this actual reality and this virtual reality. It's some kind of feeling that you already been there. So it's really impressive tool, and yeah, and main advantage I see that you can make a lot of mistakes without so much, without any consequences at the real stage. So I really admire all these technologies.
If we are talking not just about firefighters training in a safe way, that they can make as many mistakes as they can, but also if we take our look into so-called geopolitical tensions, about, for example, a possible military crisis, about possible hybrid attacks or something, maybe also these virtual reality technologies could be used in a way of strengthening public safety. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I strongly agree with that. Actually, we use that technology in bringing some kind of understanding of threat that is coming from the nuclear site in Belarus for schools. So that kind of educational training was done in more than 10 schools in Vilnius region, and we reached more than 1,000 pupils, and that was really kind of the good way to access the younger generation, because they are not so much keen on listening theoretical sort of lectures. They want to experience something. So yeah, this is most advanced experiencing level. So it is nowadays we have a lot of these tools that you can take in your hands, whether it is smartphone, other mobile device, or even laptop. But these Googles portray another level of experiencing the reality that you want to sort of understand. So basically we are already using it, but it's not so widely as we maybe would want to. So yeah, this is perfect thing to see how we can improve more in that kind of regard.
Moving a little bit further from the subject of virtual reality, Edgaras, as you like to say, for long years worked and still working in the sphere of civil protection, civil defense, maybe you can describe your opinion, which public safety skills do you think now should be the most developed and strengthen it? And for example, I don't know if it matter in Lithuania, is if there's some difference, if we have, for example, these risks of military attacks, of hybrid attacks, of Astrov nuclear plant nearby, and maybe there are some different skills within the European Union that should be strengthened among the society. What do you think? Is there a difference? Lithuania and, for example, I don't know, Cyprus, Spain, other countries of European Union?
Surely there is clear difference, and it's actually attributed to the risk patterns, because, for instance, a few years ago we were talking a lot about the nuclear sort of area, nuclear risks associated with the, as you already mentioned, Astravets nuclear power plant. But then after 2022, we were really challenging ourselves on the geopolitical sort of tensions. And also, as we've seen already with the migrant crisis, as we now see with all these balloons and other sort of hybrid threats, so we see how close we are to the sort of level of the war. Even the war could be hidden under a hybrid war umbrella, but it could bring really another challenges to sort of peaceful society that was really adapted not to have such kind of risks. And even if we talk with our older generations, as our grandmothers, grandfathers, and other, So they would see a lot of challenges that we are already forgotten. And just a few days ago, we had a conference on the challenges that were in Ukraine, and one of the presenters explained how this knowledge of preparedness to these war-type situations, war-type scenarios, is being revived through all the generations. And it seems that all the generations, they have the knowledge how to survive in these areas where the bombardment is being done on the daily basis. So nowadays we are talking a lot and we are trying to provide the society with basic survival sort of knowledge, how to act in case of whatever, air raid attack or terrorist attack or any war type scenario. And it's working, but we see a lot of psychological barriers inside of our society. A lot of people, they do not want to talk about this. And this is kind of some kind of curtain that's been already in their minds. And if we are talking about some kind of scenario that is not really directly associated with the war, then it would be easier to talk about this and how to prepare for these scenarios. Whatever this would be the grab bag, or whatever it would be for people to know where is the nearest shelter, where is the nearest collection point, and etc. So nowadays we have this situation that people still want to believe that all these Ukraine war type scenarios will be somehow resolved, and they would not be entrapped in this kind of war type scenarios. But as civil defense sort of representative, I see the responsibility to provide this knowledge, and this these advanced technologies brings a lot of value, and especially in these scenarios when you don't see a real sort of ability to invest a lot of time, and even if you want to, for instance, if you want to go into some school and to see how the school would look like in war type scenario, when it would be reverted from school to sort of shelter. So this virtual reality will bring you most effective way to presenting for people how it would be organized, all these civil defense issues, how it would be organized, and how they could see, how they can understand these different circumstances. So again, all the technologies we already have is really good opportunity to use them in different fields, only that it could not really sort of change our sort of human to human social networking. It should be also sustained, but this tool is really perfect just to have another look, have another chance to look at the same point from different sort of direction, maybe. So that
and as our conversation is slightly moving to the final phase, I would like to give Edgar a personal question. Do you personally in your home use virtual reality technologies? For example, you have this or such a similar headset at home, or not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. But not you yet. Are not planning for your, I don't know, family's free time or something, just trying those, because actually I will tell my personal experience. Actually, after this, it was the first time in this school when I started to work in this school, in this project. I started the virtual reality goggles for the first time. It was really really interesting. And the next time we had a possibility to lend for some time these glasses for the family. So I have a daughter, 8 years old. So when she added those virtual reality goggles, we with the wife, we have a lot of free time, because the kid was, like to say, in the games in virtual reality, and nothing was more interesting for her. We were not in need playing games or spending time for a few hours maybe. We did not spend a lot of time with that, but it was really useful. So actually, not only for training, not only for strengthening the public safety skills, but also for a good free time, it could be used. And my final question, I think, in this our interview, in this podcast, in this conversation, about one idea. I will read it because it's a long sentence. Edgaras, do you agree with the idea that the new generation's education system should emphasize integrating new technologies, such as virtual reality, into the learning process? Or maybe you have an opposite view. Maybe you think that in some part or in the whole thing, the learning system should stay to the traditional methods of learning, or integrating those new methods. What do you think?
As I'm growing older and older each day, but I still think that we have to find some balance, because nowadays we feel too much occupied with every technology, every way we want to be more productive, more effective, and that brings a lot of sort of challenges to our personal and also work experience. I would see that all these technologies have to have their place, and to see how they are bringing their value, but not to overrun it. Even from your personal experience, at least, I mean, there could be different positions, because somehow we see that even in some schools now in Lithuania and other European countries, now they are trying to a little bit to
move away
take away all these devices from the younger generation, because it seems that they are really locked in all these
scrolling all the time.
So in a way, I don't know how to find this right balance, but at least for training purposes, in our sort of time that we have with our sort of clients, I certainly see the value of bringing this to the training processes. I certainly see the value for vulnerable groups. For instance, I'm working now with some of these European investment projects on people with disabilities. So you can imagine how much of how much of time and resources should be attributed for those people just to go somewhere and to see and to experience them in real sort of real life. Having these goggles, you can actually to explain them really kind of easy. Where is the nearest point of shelter, whatever, nearest point of a collection evacuation point, what would be in case of whatever emergency or war or whatever. So this could serve as one of the tools that you can use and explain about how it would look like. And this is, again, I guess, it transfer more information than you can transfer using these sort of traditional whatever tools or methods. In case of understanding, we know from sort of academia that if we are talking each to other, so we are sort of transferring more or less 5% of information. With this technology, I suppose we can transfer more information, more experience, more emotional background that always connected to the information. So I guess this is new reality, but again, this is AI technology that also is working somehow in parallel. We see now a lot of opportunities and challenges associated with the AI, and I guess this could be seen as one of the opportunities that we have to integrate in training processes, as well in the actual sort of exercise and even the real situations when we are talking about response operations. Even if we are, as we talked with you just before this podcast, if we can just develop the database of different
evacuation points,
territories or different buildings, so we can use these technologies for different purposes. So this brings a lot of value.
So I think that's the end of our conversation. I want to thank you for your time and
thank you for having me.
Thank you.